So, got it?
It's going.
All right, so what we're going to talk about is the brain and gut connection. And when you put good, healthy nutrition into your gut, your brain's going to function better. So mental illnesses, bipolar, schizophrenia, all of those are based on healthy, organic, high-grade, most absorbable minerals you can get. And then add your essential fatty acids to that. You don't, I would say more than half the people are going to respond quite well to just that alone. But what you put in, if you're putting junk food in, meaning fast food, stuff that's processed, you're not going to get your minerals. And you're right about, should I eat these noodles? Because if they're grain noodles, no. Okay, because they're going to be GMO'd. They're going to have that splice genetically modified. Hey, they're going to have that splice of antibiotic, pesticide, fertilizer in there, and that causes the brain imbalances. That causes the mental illness. So it literally is better to just eat an organic apple or an organic peach or organic nuts and a small amount, if that's all you can get, than eat anything else. You literally will recover faster just by doing that. So with that being said, cleaning the diet out is the most important because it saves your gut and it saves your brain. Okay, so when I'm teaching people colonics, one of the things we do is we start cleaning out, like we have a big tube, large intestine around here, and that tube is just like, I wish I had a paper roll, to show you, but if you imagine a roll of paper, that inside cylinder, your colon processes all your food through that. Some of it gets stuck and it calcifies or becomes plaque and sludge in your gut. So it blocks the absorption in the gut to the brain. So even though you're eating food, you're not absorbing it because your gut is plugged up. It's blocking, it's covered. Your receptor sites that are on the colon wall cannot absorb. Okay, so what we do in colon hydrotherapy is we go in and we clean it out. So it starts over here, clean it out, empty it, clean it out, empty it, clean it out, empty it. And we work all the way around to the cecum. There's little massaging techniques, there's jiggling techniques, there's get the water in there and move it around techniques, crossing techniques, because you want it to kind of level out. All of those is what the hygienist that I teach for the home use systems teach your clients how to do it so they can best utilize the equipment that they're on. So when you teach somebody to use their home equipment, which is less than $500, hey, then the person can use that the rest of their life. In my divorce, my husband had diverticuli, and he fought the judge to give him the colonic equipment because he knew how much it kept him healthy and safe and benefited him, because he had, diverticuli is having little bitty like pimples in the colon that pockets of seeds and undigested food get trapped in, and they get inflamed and it blows up and it can cause all kinds of problems. But keeping that clean and having home use colonic equipment, it's kind of like a glorified enema, and keep that flushed out is so beneficial. There's three things that the medical profession don't like to hear about colonics. Is one, they're afraid you're going to perforate your colon. And genuine concern, I get it, but the colonic tip is about half the size of this. It's literally the size of a pencil that goes in. So if this was your rectum, at the end, where you're going to clamp your cheeks together and cut it off, you're going to have speculum coming in, and you're literally going to move your body onto it while doing this. Okay, that way the tip itself does not have a chance of being perforated. There's no pressure. You're respecting your body. Your body's doing the positioning, and if it wants to stop for a second or two, let it stop. Okay, and then move down until the tip is about that far in. Then turn the water on. It's just gravity flow. It's very gentle. It'll come in and it'll start flushing out a little bit, and you'll evacuate right beside the tip, and it just goes right into the toilet. Okay, so that's how we clean out all kinds of things. We clean out the putrefied plaque, the waste that's built up in there. Some people have pockets of it, and we clean out our genetics. Yeah, we have the gluten bellies, you know, the big bellies, the bitter bellies. That's all gluten. That's all gluten. That's all gluten, because we can't digest it. It's got poison in it. It's got the pesticides, the antibiotics, the fertilizers. Our bodies are not designed to eat that, process that. And I'm not just talking my body, I'm talking every human body. You may evacuate it, but are you evacuating 100% of it? I doubt it. I seriously doubt it. Plus, what you're doing is you're putting that raw material into your bloodstream. My old teacher was Dr. Bernard Jensen out in California. He had a ranch that a lot of people with cancer and different illnesses would go to and do the detox work, turn their health around, turn their wellness around, wake up and realize and start reading the labels of everything that they put in their mouth, touched on their skin, or lived in the environment surrounding them. So with that being said, I learned a lot of wonderful things that we have lost in today's culture. We've literally gotten so dummied down and so generic that we think, oh, just take this enzyme, it'll help you digest. Well, I'm still suspicious over what's digesting. Do I want an antibiotic in my system? No. Do I want pesticides in my system? No. You know, so I'm very pure with my diet. It's very organic. It's very non-GMO. And then I rarely eat grains. I have a little bit of rice sometimes, and maybe once or twice a month a little bit of soy. But it's an organic source. It's something that I know and that I trust. I know it doesn't make me sick, and I don't feel it. If I eat something that my body is not going to happen, I had to learn what allergy symptoms were. The sore throat, the cramping, you know, the bloating in your gut. I get anaphylactic shock real easy. I just end up going to the hospital. So I'm very careful about my diet, my nutrition. And I was raised very organic on a farm in Kansas, so very exposed to all the natural things. I shouldn't be this way, but I made the unfortunate choice to get breast implants when I was a young woman and go into modeling or return to modeling, and ruined my health. The breast implants had lots of toxic ingredients in them, and it set off my genetic predisposition with MTHFR and triggered an autoimmune. Nobody knew how to diagnose that. Nobody knew how to fix it or what the cause of it was. In naturopathic medicine, we always look at the cause, remove the cause, and the body can heal. But I went 30 some years trying to figure out what was wrong. I ended up with a couple degrees in different things, and medicine being one of them, to fix myself. But, you know, I'm hoping to save the next few generations that kind of trial and effort, and I wouldn't want anybody to go through what I had to go through. It was not pretty and not nice and very frustrating, and you know, I have a little PTSD from the medical gaslighting, you know. But with all of that being said, again, this is a product line, this is the Eminence line that is organic. It is a professional grade product line, so you have to have a licensed professional give that to you or distribute that for you. And then they also have within the line, because a lot of things that are organic now are not pure organic, And so we have what we call the Beyond Organic or the biodynamic line. So this is controlled growing. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
So there's not an opportunity for contamination and
It's all grown
overblow,
naturally, it's not
but
added.
in containers that in buildings and facilities that don't allow contamination. When I lived in Kansas, there's a lot of cornfields around, and when they do the harvest, that corn dust goes everywhere. I'm highly allergic to corn, so I could hardly breathe almost the whole time I was in Kansas. And then they had a refinery there, and depending on which way the wind was blowing, I could hardly breathe from that. So the petroleum, the plastics, you know, that come from petroleum, it was just too much. It was just too much. And your body doesn't have the enzymes to digest petroleum. And mine doesn't do starch and cornstarch and corn flour and cornmeal and high fructose corn syrup and you name it, you know, all of them. I just don't do that protein corn. So it's funny, people try to give me different versions of corn that are organic and different things, and that doesn't matter. When you have gone to the level of imbalance or sensitivity, is how I prefer to look at it, that I'm like a Geiger counter. I can find corn in that. I can touch it, I can feel it, I can taste it, I can smell it. My body resonates to it, and it's a warning signal, speak to it. But some people can handle it because they're not as sensitized to it as I am. I am very, very sensitive to it. So this is a product line that I can use when your colon shuts down and won't evacuate. Your lungs start evacuating for you, and your skin. It's the largest organ we have, and so the toxicity literally comes out our skin. So when you're thinking hormones and toxicity, then that tells me that there is some things in your body that are not meshing, that are not allowing the emulsion to continue for detox. So we have to control the hormone, and we have to control the toxicity that goes in. First way we control the toxicity that goes in is get out what's existed. Get out what's in there. That's why we do colon hydrotherapy. I truly believe every human being should have a home use colonic glorified enema system in their house. I can't imagine what my childhood, how sickly I would have been had I not had enemas as a child, because I had all kinds of gastro stuff. I had skin problems. I looked horrible in junior high, and so skin was always my thing, and I have a lot of scarring on my skin from it. But this organic line and then the biodynamic line is actually what I started out on about 15 years ago, somewhere in there, let's say. And so my skin has got some recovery behind it. My gut has got some recovery behind it. And that's what I do. All of my books, this one is about the diet. So it's a lot of organic, high alkaline foods, because that's what's going to reverse. Cancer cannot mutate in an alkaline environment. So you keep your alkaline up, and then it's only organic grown, and it's eliminating your allergy foods. So with that being said, that's what this is all about. Plus I have a few adapted, like my grandma's 1, 2, 3 deviled eggs. So it's free range eggs and all kinds of stuff in there. So with that being said, then this is actually the manual. All of my books are on Amazon. So this is actually the manual that my students go through. It takes some time, and I have always worked with people's schedules and availability and worked in it. And then of course we have the luxury of the internet and email and videos. And I've made a lot of videos about this before. And then when I had the Holistic College in Denver, Colorado, we did a lot of videos that were posted. And I've been in the process of putting a lot of links. If you look in here, there's a lot of links to things, but you can kind of see what I'm talking about. Here's what the colon looks like, and then you have all these reflex points on here. So this is your liver hepatic reflex. So if this is a blocked area in your body, no wonder your liver's not working, because it's not getting any nutrients. So what colonics do is they literally clean your tissue through bowel management. So you go in and you remove the dead debris in there, and you put back in some kind of an additive if you want, but always, you know, the doctors will say that there are 3 reasons for not doing colonics: is the perforation of the bowel, the lack of flora that you're removing, and then your electrolytes. Because when you know, whenever you've been sick, you've had the flu or something, and you're going to the bathroom a lot, your electrolytes drop. Some people can pass out from that. So what we do in my techniques is we put the electrolytes back in real fast, we put the probiotics back in real fast, and sometimes you can do an additive with a probiotic in the gut itself. But they're high grade, professional grade electrolytes and probiotics. So with that being said, you know, we're doing